G'day folks. As we welcome in the new year, I thought it would be a great time to look back and review the top 5 CoachME pickleball tips of 2021.
Number 5. In episode 56, How to Use Counterspin, we discuss a shot that can get the better of both amateur and pro players alike, the slice return. Let's listen in.
I'm going to use the most common type of spin shot you'll likely need to combat, the slice return of serve. This shot can be a real challenge to deal with, and we can see, just like against the rebound board, the ball wants to deflect downwards off the paddle. Simply allowing for this by aiming higher above the net is a great starting point. However, what if your normal third shot drop technique is also a slice? Let's look at what happens to our contact when the downward traveling paddle meets a ball with backspin. It's not pretty. The problem is, using backspin to counter backspin is forcing the ball to completely change not only its direction, but also its rotation. Remember, a ball coming towards you with backspin is rotating the opposite way as a ball traveling away from you with backspin. In this scenario, you'll have a much cleaner contact using a topspin stroke. So get low, brush up on the ball and aim at least a couple of feet higher than normal. If you get good enough at this, you'll no longer see a backspin return of serve as a challenge, you'll see it as an opportunity to build compound spin, essentially using your opponent's spin, adding to it and using that against them to dip the ball dramatically.
Number 4. In episode 59, The Key to Having Faster Hands, a couple of points were made, but none more important than the effect of body height in relation to hand speed. Let's take a look.
What do you think about when you're attacked? Just get the paddle on the ball, right? Do you ever think about your footwork or your body height? Probably not. Let's look at what happens when a ball is hit below the net height when I'm standing tall. My arm must extend just to reach the ball. That means I've already used one vital lever, my elbow, just to make contact. I'm now restricted to just using my shoulder and wrist for power and accuracy. That's like asking a major league pitcher to go underarm. They could do it, but they'll never get the same power without the complete kinetic chain. That means the elbow. Now let's look at the technique I can use when I drop my body height. Notice how my elbow can now float higher than before relative to my body. That allows me to keep it loaded to create real punching power, utilizing the tricep as well as the shoulder. This will ultimately mean that you won't be so over-invested in your counterattack or punch volley reactions that you can't be ready for the next one. Remember, the golden rule of attacking is always to expect the ball to come back. This applies to counterattacks also.
Number 3. Episode 54, Paddle Height and Court Position, was eye-opening for a lot of players, but one particular tip seemed to really help in the all-important transition zone. We pick up midway through the episode.
If your partner has popped the ball up, then you'll have some extra time to drop back further. From this more retreated position, there's no point in keeping your paddle so high. In this position, a ball that is still traveling quickly at net height could very well be going out. Being in this area of the court also allows your opponents to much more easily place balls around your feet, so it's important to drop your paddle even lower in anticipation. The backhand side of your paddle will typically have more loft than your forehand, and will also cover a wider area of effective contact points. It's not as strong as your forehand side, but if you're willing to assist with your other hand, then you'll quickly realize why so many pros are starting to utilize the two-handed backhand.
Number 2. Episode 66, entitled 6 Shots That Pros Have That You Don't, was particularly interesting for a lot of reasons, but one shot really stood out to me as a potential game changer for amateur players. The drive then drop combination is something I'd love you all to embrace. So let's take a look. We have the drive then drop combination. One of the hallmarks of the evolution of pickleball is undoubtedly powerful driving. However, the purpose of the drive isn't simply to try and force an error. We see here the third shot drive being put to good use to reward the serving side with an easier ball to then drop in the kitchen. Many returns come with a lot of backspin, which makes timing the perfect drop on the third shot a little more tricky. By driving the ball, pros are essentially able to bully the spin off the ball and are happy to deal with a volley to which they then attempt to make a quality drop shot off.
My number 1 tip from 2021 isn't something you'll see on a video, and many of you may already know it whether you've made the change or not. My best advice to you going forward is to take a good hard look at your drill to play ratio, and if it's not in favor of drilling, make the change. All the technical and tactical advice in the world won't make too much of a difference unless your tools are sharp, and that means repetitions. Let's imagine this scenario. You've established that it's your cross-court forehand dink that needs some real attention. And you go to your club every morning with every intention of not attacking early, not redirecting that ball down the line. Well, you may get lucky and you get a handful of cross-court forehand dinks in each match, but the chances of getting any serious repetitions, I mean the kind of repetitions that are going to make a change stick, well, there are just too many factors outside of your control for that to be a reliable way to get better. What I'm getting at is a hard truth that you need to understand. Playing a game of pickleball is a terribly inefficient way to get better at pickleball. Playing a game of pickleball is fun, and playing a game can help you think faster on your feet. It can help you become a better communicator, and it can help you devise new strategies with a partnership. But if we're talking brass tacks about becoming more effective at the most important aspects of the game, no. Drilling is the way. It might be the only way. You have to drill until whatever change you need to make is locked into your muscle memory and can be trusted in a game. The change might simply be becoming 20% more consistent with your drops, or it might be a technique overhaul on your return of serve. Regardless, purposeful practice is what's needed, not the roll of the dice that a game of pickleball can be. If you change your way of thinking, you can become so much better than you are. Start seeing a game of pickleball as a reward and a test to see how well your practice is paying off. Let this be your New Year's resolution, and I assure you, your future will be bright. Until next time, Happy New Year's, everybody.